sounds incredible. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to Beemer Fam. You guys joined me in my 2002 BMW M5. If you don't know, BMWs depreciate a lot. And if you're on the good end of that stick, you can get, a lot of car for the money. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the top 5 best BMW cars that you can get for less than $5,000. And you're going to be surprised because there's going to be a few of these cars that came out within the last 10 years and are already, you can get them for less than $5 grand, which I think is a hell of a deal, especially if you're in high school, you're in college, and you're really looking for a nice car. You really want to get the most for your money. In my opinion, these are going to be the best options for you. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Number 1, we have the BMW F10 5 Series. This thing came out in 2011. You can pick these cars up for around $5 grand or less for higher mileage, more of a used car, but nevertheless, if you can find a clean one where the owner actually replaced everything on the car and didn't just drive it to the ground, you can get a really good deal out of this car. The F10 5 Series is, honestly, one of the better looking 5 Series out the bunch. The E60, a lot of people didn't like the design of the car. Having the E39 like that I have, once you go to the E60, it kind of the awkward sibling. And the F10 kind of brought it more back to the roots. It looks more like, a 5 Series. So these things look real classy, real modern. You have the LED halos that come with it. You can even, add small modifications like a little sporty exhaust to make the car actually sound really good. I've heard these things opened up and they do sound nice. You've got the classic BMW inline 6, so you've got plenty of power. I think it's north of 300 horsepower in this car. And you can also get this car in the all-wheel drive variant. But if you're not feeling the all-wheel drive, you want to do rear-wheel drive, you can do that as well. These cars are not offered in manual, so you can get these cars in automatic, which could be a good or bad thing. And just overall, I hear these cars are fairly reliable, especially for the price. Next up, we have the E46. We're going to go back a little bit in time. We have the E46, which is a hell of a car. This is a car that was created in the modern classic BMW era. Along with the E39 and just that whole generation of BMW, people say is where BMW peaked in terms of the overall driving experience of the car. This one's not going to be the most tech savvy. You're going to get most of your enjoyment out of the actual driving, the feeling of the car, stuff like steering, handling, just even stuff like smell and just that nostalgic feeling of being in a classic but modern BMW. So these came out in the early 2000s. You can pick one up for $5 grand or less. And these great looking cars, you can add plenty of modifications. Modifications for these cars are cheap. Parts for these cars are going to be cheaper than the F10 5 Series, and just maintenance on the overall car is going to be cheap, relatively speaking. So I would definitely recommend picking up an E46. You can get them in a real clean condition because these cars are older and depreciation has already hit them hard as hell. You can pick a clean example of an E46 330 easily for less than $5 grand. There's going to be more options for you as to whether with the F10, you're going to have to really do your research and really find the right one, depending on where you're living. You can pick these things up for less than $5 grand. So, whew, this thing sounding good, man. I just love this car. Next up on the list is actually a newer car. Next up is the BMW E90 328i. And honestly, you can get these in the XI, the X-Drive as well, the all-wheel drive variant as well. What's great about this car is you can pick up the 2011 year, which is the last of the production year, meaning that you have all the bugs and all the errors and all the tweaks fixed from the earlier year models. This is going to be the last year. This is going to be the best E90 that you can buy, and you can pick these up for less than $5 grand with a breeze. Okay, I'm actually helping my girlfriend, shout out Chanel, trying to figure out what's going to be the best car for her. And this is honestly number 1 on the list. For the price. As I said, that one just drove by right there. These things look seriously modern. They have the LED lights in the tail lights and in the front as well. It's a 2011 car. So not only that, you can pick these cars up with computer system as well, navigation, and all the fancy technology that you need in these modern BMWs. So if you're someone who likes to have a compact sedan, unfortunately you might have to spend a couple extra grand for the coupe version. But if you're someone who likes to have a compact sedan, nice technology, just a real sporty feel, mean, the BMW 3 Series is known for all of that. So that's going to be arguably the best car on this list in terms of getting, you know, a clean one for the price, mileage, just overall car. This might be your best option. Next up, the taller and wider people are going to really enjoy this one. And it's just a more practical option, which is the BMW X5 from the early 2000s. Now, I wouldn't recommend getting the V8 cars. I would definitely recommend getting the 3-liter inline 6 because, you know, that is BMW's most reliable engine. And not only that, we've owned multiple X5s over the years, even including this one that I'm showing you on screen right now. We've had the V8 models, and every V8 model that we've had has had head gasket issues and just overall has had some problems compared to the 3-liter inline 6. So I would definitely, you know, stray away from the V8s with these cars and definitely pick up the inline 6 car because, you know, you definitely won't be disappointed. You got a lot of space in the cabin, but the biggest thing with these cars is the headroom. You get massive amount of headroom. Really, it doesn't matter how tall you are, you will definitely be able to fit in an X5. And not only that, you can get the kids in and out. If you got dogs, you can get them in the back. It's just a really practical car, especially for the money. And last but not least is the E39 528i. Now this one, I guess overall is my favorite on the list, just because, you know, the E39 is such a successful generation of the BMW 5 Series. It doesn't even have to be an M5. The car my first car was the car I owned before this M5 was an E39 528, and you know, there's a car that we grew up around, and, you know, we drove it to over 200,000 miles, and, you know, I sold it around like 200, almost 215,000 miles, and that car was running fine. You know, granted, there's stuff that you have to replace along the way. It is an old BMW. It is a BMW from the late 90s, early 2000s. So you're definitely going to have your typical BMW maintenance, you know, with all of these cars. But getting in, you can find a very clean E39 528, you know, decent mileage, real good paint, no rust, real good interior condition for $5,000 easy. You know, I sold mine for, you know, almost $2,000. So that gives you an idea. You can get, you know, lower 100,000 miles, clean 528, less than $5,000 all day, any day. And, you know, honestly, these cars, eventually, if you can get a real mint one, they're going to hold value really well. And it's probably going to hold value better than any other car on this list, just simply because that generation of BMW is starting to appreciate in general. You know, it's a classic car at this point. And I think, you know, if you're in the market for, you know, more spacious, more wider cabin than a 3 Series, then you're definitely going to be happy with the E39 528. And it just looks amazing. It just looks like a classic, that modern classic look on the car. So I just love the E39 528. I miss it. If you guys found this video helpful or useful in any way, shape, or form, please hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. Also hit that subscribe button to see more content, more crazy BMW, Mercedes, and just German car content in general. Help us reach 10,000 followers on Instagram. We're so close, less than a couple hundred away. So I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.